Welcome to the full body stretching routine video. These stretches are ideal to perform in the morning when you first wake up, in the evening right before you go to bed, or any time throughout the day where you need to take a posture break or a brain break and pull out 2 or 3 of these stretches. Take your time when you're performing this routine. Don't rush it and focus on your breathing the entire time for best results. All right, enjoy. Okay, I like to begin my stretch by clasping my hands, centering myself, and taking a couple of deep breaths before I start from the neck and work my way down. With these neck rolls, you don't want to bring the head all the way back. You want to start to the side and keep the shoulders relaxed. Let the head, the weight of the head, do all the stretching. I use my hands while they're clasped to kind of pull my shoulders down, right? Make as many passes left and right as you need to. Once I've really kind of pinpointed the more tense areas in my neck, I'll actually take my arm like she's doing in the video and add a little extra tension in order to get a little bit deeper stretch in some of the areas that I identified as being a little extra tight. This feels really, really good. Again, don't forget to breathe. Take your time. We're only demonstrating a few rounds of this, but do this as many times as you need to. This next stretch is we're trying to get the neck in the full range of motion. We're trying to increase the full range of motion. So what she did is she turned her head as far as she could one direction and then leaned the head straight back. The eyes look up at the corner of the room. If you follow that instruction, your neck will be in its maximum range of motion. And that's actually one of the goals for all of these stretches, is try to get as many joints in our body as we can in its full range of motion. And now we're working our way down from the neck into the shoulders. Okay? So we're going to do big shoulder shrugs. You don't even need your elbows to be involved in this. Big shoulder shrugs to the front, big shoulder shrugs to the back. I recommend at least 3. Now we really want that shoulder girdle in its full range of motion. Just this exercise right here has helped so many people regain their range of motion in their shoulder, being able to lift, being able to move. At least 3 forward and 3 back. Again, take your time. You can do more. Synchronize the breath. Take deep breaths. That's definitely as much a part of the stretching routine as the stretches themselves. Full ranges of motion. All right, now we're working our way down. We started with the neck, worked our way into the shoulders. Now we're working on some of the arm muscles as well as the shoulder muscles. So do what she's doing here, pulling the arms across. That's great for the triceps, great for the shoulders. It's an excellent stretch right here. Okay, this stretch right here has 2 purposes, one for the neck and one for the arms and shoulders. What she's doing is she's clasping her hands and pulling apart. You should feel that stretch in the very back of your shoulder blades. She was also tucking her chin back, almost. You got to give yourself a double chin. Great for forward head posture. And when she went to the back, same thing, clasping the hands and trying to squeeze, pulling them straight down. Gets a good chest stretch. Here, grabbing the elbows, working on the sides. See, we're kind of working our way down the body, right? Working on the sides of the body. Again, more triceps. Wide flies right here. Excellent stretch. Really opens up the chest. Do this with the breath. You're going to inhale up, and as you go down, pretend like you're ripping something apart. You're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. You should feel it in the chest, stretching, and you should squeeze those shoulder blades together. We're hurrying through here. Remember, take your time with these. This is just an illustration. One of my favorite stretches right here. You can do this on a chair, or you can even do this on a wall. It opens up the mid-back. That's one of the most important stretches I think you could be doing throughout the day. Next is a modified version. You might need a yoga block for this. I call this just a wide, forward bend, working on the legs, the low back. You may not be able to do this right away. Okay, this may be a little bit more advanced, but this is what I like to do to stretch out my hamstrings, the back of my legs, the insides of my legs. I'll go from one side like she's doing here, going to the other side. This is great. Sometimes I spend about half my stretching time just in this position with my breath. I lean it over. I really, really feel good after spending a lot of time focused on the lower body stretches. Okay, if you need to watch this, multiple times, feel free to rewind the video. What she's doing here is the progression of the leg stretches. This really gets the glute muscles, the butt muscles, crossing the legs, reaching through. Make sure you hold these stretches. We're going pretty fast here, but make sure you hold these stretches. See the second version, notice where her hands are placed, on the knee and on the ankle. She's taking the knee and moving it to the opposite shoulder. That's very important. That second part of this stretch really focuses on the piriformis muscle, which, if you look that up, is a muscle that when it's tight often causes sciatica-like symptoms. So notice what she's going to do. She's going to grab the knee, she's going to grab the ankle, and she's going to pull to the opposite shoulder. I love just hanging out in this stretch for like a solid minute at least. Don't forget to breathe. Very, very important here. Pause the video when you need to if you're following along here. I think this is one of the most simple hamstring stretches right here for the very back of the leg. Just tuck one leg in, and straight forward. Try to keep that back as straight as you can. And again, I tend to spend most of my time, honestly, in these lower body stretches because I feel so good afterwards. And I mean, I get to lay down in the floor too. A little bit easier. Don't forget the front of the legs here. Very important. Pulling at the front of the legs, the quad muscles right here. Pull that leg back into the butt. One of the most important stretches you can do right here. This is stretching sort of the front part of her left leg right here. You can bring your arm up and over to the other side for an exaggerated stretch. This is one of the good stretches for the front part of the legs, as well as what's called the psoas muscle. Excellent stretch to be doing every single day right here. Spending some time, definitely spending more time than you're seeing in the video for sure. Although I think this video is about 12 to 13 minutes long overall, but it usually only takes me 10 to 12 minutes to do the full routine anyway. If you stretch it out from 15 to 30 minutes, you would be doing phenomenal. So what we're showing you here at the end are some moves from a sunrise salutation. This is part of a yoga flow. This is not, everybody has a different flair to how they do the sunrise salutation. I would actually encourage you to go do some YouTube searching on sunrise salutations, right? And what you'll see is they're very similar to this right here. It usually starts off with some deep inhales, wide flies here, diving into the pool, relaxing, coming up halfway, breathing, a lot of breath work here, and then ultimately going down, transitioning into some kind of half push-up or not, coming up into a position called upward dog. Great position to open up the chest and increase flexibility in the thoracic spine. From upward dog, you would go into the downward dog. Okay. Stretching out those legs, the calf muscles, stepping back, breathing in, reversing that dive, coming back to center. Phenomenal way to end a stretching routine right here is through a series of sunrise salutations and progressively increase the difficulty and add in some of the poses one by one. So start off with just the breathing. Start off with just the introduction. Then gradually go down into the push-up and the upward dog and downward dog. Maybe repeat that a few times. And after you repeat that a few times, then maybe you can go into the next position. Sometimes you'll see in videos they're labeled A, B, and C. Right? So sunrise salutations, part A, part B, and part C. So here she's going to move into what's called the runner's pose. Right? Again, another good deep stretch. And then she's going to go back. She's going to switch sides, but you could just do, say, the right side, and then go back up and do the flow again, and then do the left side, and go back up and do the flow again with the upward dog and the downward dog. There's no wrong way to do this, right? There's no right or wrong way. Most of the time what you'll see is getting up, right, going down, and that's kind of what we're illustrating here. Kind of starting from the beginning every time you add something new, and then resetting yourself. But you can do this in any order you want. Spend as much time as you want. Just focus on your breathing, focus on yourself. Really helps to get the blood going, get the mobility going. That's why it's so great to do at the beat, like just right in the morning. There's no better way to get your body flowing than this right here. All right, so she's continuing the flow, showing you examples of what you can do. Back to the upward dog, the push-up, the downward dog. Moving into the next position, I believe. So starting in runner's pose, but then coming up into more of a warrior pose or a warrior one pose. Again, there's multiple ways to do this. Some people you'll see in videos or in actual yoga classes, they'll add a lot of flair to this, right?